Day 1, December 28, 1964, San Diego, California. Randy Gardner is 17 years old. He just made a bet with two high school friends. The challenge? Stay awake for 11 straight days. 264 hours. No sleep, not even a nap. It's a science fair project. They'll document everything, track the changes. See what happens when a human brain is forced past its breaking point. Randy feels fine. Actually, he feels great. He's alert, energetic, confident. His brain is running on pure adrenaline and cortisol. Stress hormones are flooding his system, forcing him awake. His body thinks this is temporary, something it can handle, something it can compensate for automatically. His prefrontal cortex is operating normally. His hippocampus is encoding memories. No issues yet. Everything feels manageable. But Randy doesn't realize what's happening underneath. The exhaustion is already building. His brain is running on borrowed energy. It's not sustainable. He just can't feel it yet. By tomorrow, that will change. Day 2. Randy wakes up, except he didn't sleep, so he doesn't wake up. He just continues. 36 hours now. No rest. His body expected him to sleep last night. When he didn't, something shifted. Small annoyances feel massive now. His friend makes a joke. Normally, Randy would laugh. Instead, he snaps, gets irritated. His parents ask a simple question. He responds with frustration. He doesn't know why. He's not trying to be difficult. He just can't regulate his emotions the way he did yesterday. This isn't personality. This is biology. Randy's prefrontal cortex is slowing down. The decision-making center of his brain is now operating at roughly 60% capacity. Every choice, every response takes longer to process. His emotional control is deteriorating because the part of his brain responsible for managing impulses is running on fumes. He tries to read, same paragraph, 3 times. The words blur together. He knows what they say, but they won't stick. His concentration is fracturing. Researchers are watching him closely now. They're documenting everything. Reaction time tests show he's delayed by half a second. Doesn't sound like much, but it's enough. Enough to notice. Enough to measure the decline. Randy's friends notice before he does. He's becoming argumentative over trivial things. A joke that would normally make him laugh now irritates him. He's aware something feels off, but he can't pinpoint what. Day 3. 72 hours. No sleep. Randy's memory is breaking down. He starts a sentence, loses it halfway through. The thought was there a second ago. Now it's gone. He knows he knew it, but he can't access it anymore. Words disappear mid-conversation. He's trying to explain something. The word he needs, it's right there. He can feel it, but when he reaches for it, nothing comes. He describes it instead, talks around the missing word. His friends fill in the gaps. Reality feels slightly off now, detached, like he's watching himself from a distance. Events are happening, but they don't feel fully real. It's dreamlike, disconnected. He walks into the wrong room, stops, forgets why he's there, turns around, walks back, repeats this 3 times before realizing what he's doing. This is hippocampus failure. Randy's memory center requires sleep to convert short-term experiences into long-term storage. Without it, his brain stops recording properly. He's experiencing things, but they're not being saved. Events happen, then they vanish. Randy described day 3 as walking through fog. Everything felt real, but distant. He'd start telling a story, lose the plot halfway, couldn't recover it. The thread was just gone. His brain is about to defend itself in the worst possible way. Day 4. 96 hours awake. The hallucinations begin. Randy is walking down the street, a stop sign ahead. He's seen it 1,000 times, but now it's moving, breathing, expanding and contracting slightly with each step he takes. He blinks. It stops. He keeps walking. It starts again. He hears his name, turns around, nobody there. Happens again 10 minutes later. He's certain someone called him. He checks. Empty hallway. That night, he's convinced someone is watching him. He checks the door. Locked. Checks again 5 minutes later. Still locked. Checks a third time. He doesn't remember checking the first 2 times. Randy's visual cortex is misfiring. Parts of his brain are trying to enter REM sleep while he's still awake. They're producing dream imagery with his eyes open. His brain is trying to dream without shutting down consciousness. His amygdala, the fear center, is overactive now. Without sleep, there's no prefrontal cortex regulation to calm it down. Fear responses fire at random. Paranoia creeps in. Then it happens. Researchers are asking Randy questions. Standard cognitive tests. Routine. Except Randy isn't answering as Randy anymore. He's insisting he's someone else. Paul Lowe, a famous NFL player. He doesn't suspect this. He believes it completely. He's not joking. He's not confused about his identity in an abstract way. He is convinced with absolute certainty that he is Paul Lowe. The researchers tell him he's wrong. He argues, gets defensive, insists they're mistaken. His brain has rewritten his identity in real time. This lasts for 20 minutes before it fades. When it does, Randy has no memory of it. They tell him what happened. He doesn't believe them. Day 5, 120 hours, 5 full days. No sleep. The paranoia escalates. Randy is convinced the researchers are plotting against him. He can't articulate what the plot is, but he knows it's happening. He can feel it. He watches them carefully, listens to their conversations, interprets neutral statements as coded threats. He can't trust his own perception anymore. He checks the same thing repeatedly, forgets he already checked, checks again. The loop confusion sets in. Timeline confusion sets in. Did something happen today? Yesterday? This morning? He can't remember. Events blur together. There's no chronological order anymore. Everything exists in a vague, recently category. His hands are trembling now, not violently, just a slight, constant shake. His eyes are unfocused, glazed. When he looks at you, he's looking through you. His movements are slower, more deliberate, like he's moving through water. Every action requires conscious effort. Nothing is automatic anymore. Speech patterns are changing. He talks, then pauses, long pauses, 10 seconds, 15. Mid-sentence, the words are still processing. The connection between thought and language is degrading, and then his language center starts shutting down. Day 6, 144 hours, 6 days, no sleep. Randy is sitting across from researchers. They ask him a simple question. What day is it? He knows the answer. He can visualize the calendar in his mind. December, the date. He knows this. He's certain. But when he opens his mouth, nothing comes out. Not silence, fragments. It's the 6th. No, Tuesday? He stops, tries again. Same result, broken pieces, no complete thought. The connection between what he's thinking and what he can say has severed. The researchers wait, give him time. He sits there, staring. The answer is in his head. He just can't get it out. This is temporal lobe dysfunction, the language processing center. The part of the brain that translates thoughts into words is shutting down. Scientists are watching a human brain disconnect from language in real time. Randy can still understand questions. Comprehension is intact, but production is failing. He knows what he wants to say. The pathway to say it doesn't exist anymore. He resorts to gestures, points at things, nods, shakes his head, uses his hands to communicate what his mouth can't. It's not that he's chosen to stop talking. He physically cannot access the words. Later that day, they ask him to describe a picture. Simple image, a dog sitting under a tree. Randy looks at it. Long pause. Then, the thing, brown thing, under the tall, with the... He stops, frustrated. He can see it. He knows what it is, but the words dog and tree are gone, vanished from his accessible vocabulary. He knows they exist. He's used them his entire life. They're just not available anymore. Day 7, 168 hours, 1 full week. no sleep. The micro-sleeps begin. Randy is standing in a hallway. Researchers are nearby watching him. He's upright, eyes open, staring at nothing. 3 minutes pass. He doesn't move, doesn't blink, just stands there, frozen. They call his name. Once, twice. On the third time, he snaps back, looks around, confused. What happened? They ask. He has no idea. He doesn't remember walking to the hallway. He doesn't remember the last 3 minutes. He thought he was somewhere else. Time just skipped. These are called microsleeps. Randy's brain is trying to protect itself. It's forcing shutdown moments. 2 seconds, 30 seconds. Sometimes longer. Non-essential functions go offline. Consciousness blanks out completely, but his body stays upright. His eyes stay open. From the outside, he looks awake. He's not. This happens 60, 70, 80 times a day now. He'll be mid-conversation, gone for 5 seconds, back without realizing he left. He'll be walking, blank out for 10 seconds. Keep walking in the same direction. No memory of the gap. His brain is forcing him offline, trying to steal moments of unconsciousness while he remains standing. It's a desperate attempt at survival. Partial shutdowns to prevent total collapse, but it's not enough. After day 7, the damage becomes harder to reverse. Parts of Randy's brain aren't just tired anymore. They're starting to shut down permanently. Neural pathways that haven't been maintained through sleep are beginning to degrade. Some of them won't rebuild completely. Randy still has 4 more days to go. Day 8, 192 hours, 8 days, no sleep. Physical coordination collapses. The researchers ask Randy to walk a straight line, 20 feet. Simple, something he's done since he was a toddler. He takes the first step, fine. Second step, veers slightly left. Third step, overcorrects right. By the 8th step, he's 3 feet off course. He stops, tries to correct, can't. His body won't respond to what his brain is telling it to do. They ask him to play basketball. He's played his whole life, thousands of hours. Muscle memory should handle this. He picks up the ball, tries to dribble, misses. The ball bounces away. He tries again, misses again. His hand-eye coordination is gone. The signal from brain to hand is degrading. What should be automatic requires full conscious effort, and even with effort, it fails. Fine motor skills are impossible now. Buttoning a shirt takes 5 minutes. Tying shoes is beyond his capability. He can't hold a pencil steady enough to write legibly. Depth perception is failing. He reaches for a cup, misses by 3 inches, tries again, overshoots. On the 3rd attempt, he knocks it over. He's not being careless. His brain can't accurately judge distance anymore. This is motor cortex malfunction. The brain region controlling movement is offline more than it's functional. The cerebellum, which coordinates balance and precision, has stopped communicating effectively with the rest of his nervous system. Randy's brain is sending signals. They're just not arriving correctly, or arriving at all. Day 9, 216 hours, 9 days, no sleep. The researchers give Randy a basic math test, elementary school level, addition and subtraction. 7 plus 4. Randy stares at the paper. 10 seconds, 20, 30, 45 seconds. A full minute passes. He knows this is simple. He can feel that he should know the answer. His brain recognizes this is something he's solved thousands of times, but the answer doesn't come. Not because he's forgotten how to add. The cognitive process itself has broken down. The part of his brain that performs calculation isn't responding. It's like pressing a button that isn't connected to anything. They try another one. 14 minus 6. Same result. Blank stare. Long pause. No answer. Just frustration. Randy is aware of his own deterioration now. He knows he's not functioning correctly. He can tell something is deeply wrong, but he can't articulate it, can't explain what's happening, can't ask for help in any meaningful way. Moments of clarity still break through, brief windows where his brain reconnects for 30 seconds. He'll suddenly remember where he is, what's happening, why this matters. Then the window closes. Confusion returns. His emotional range has flattened completely. He's not happy, not sad, not angry, not calm. He exists in a neutral void. The part of his brain that generates emotional response has stopped functioning. He's physically present, but emotionally absent. 2 more days. His brain has 2 more days of this. Day 10, 240 hours. 10 days. No sleep. Complete system failure. Randy picks up a cup, holds it, forgets why, puts it down, stands there. No idea what he was doing. The action started, never completed. The purpose vanished mid-execution. The researchers ask him to count backwards from 100 by sevens. 100, 93, 86, 79. He reaches 65, then stops, stares into space. 30 seconds pass. A minute. He blinks, looks confused. What did you want me to do? They tell him again. He starts over. 100, 93, 86. Stops at 79 this time. Microsleeps are constant now, more than 100 per day. He loses minutes at a time, stands frozen, sits motionless, eyes open, nobody home. Multiple brain regions are shutting down simultaneously. Prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, motor cortex, temporal lobe, language centers. They're not just slow anymore, they're offline, and they're not communicating with each other. Randy's brain has become a city during a blackout. Some systems still flicker, nothing coordinates. Each region operates in isolation, no integration, no cohesion. He can't follow simple 2-step instructions now. Pick up the pen and put it on the table. He picks up the pen, holds it. The second part of the instruction is gone, never processed. He stands there holding the pen until someone takes it from him. Spatial awareness is almost completely gone. He walks into walls. Not because he doesn't see them, because his brain can't accurately map 3-dimensional space anymore. Distance, depth, placement, all unreliable. Day 11, hour 264, January 8th, 1965, 2 in the morning. Randy Gardner has been awake for 11 days straight, 264 hours, the longest scientifically documented case of voluntary sleep deprivation in human history. The researchers ask if he wants to sleep now. He nods. He doesn't say anything. He can't form the words anymore. He just nods. Then he sleeps. And that's when they discovered the real damage. Randy slept for 14 hours and 40 minutes straight. When he woke up, he was different. Speech returned, mostly. He could form complete sentences again. The words came back. Not all of them immediately, but enough to communicate. Memory encoding resumed. His hippocampus started saving information again. Events had. Timestamps. Chronological order existed. The hallucinations stopped. Paul Lowe disappeared. The paranoia faded. He recognized himself again. Motor control came back. He could walk straight, catch a ball, button his shirt. His cerebellum reconnected to his motor cortex. Most of his cognitive function returned. Most, not all. Randy's sleep patterns never fully recovered. The irony is brutal. He'd voluntarily deprived himself of sleep for 11 days. And for years afterward, he struggled with chronic insomnia. The same thing he'd forced on himself became an involuntary curse. He'd lie awake at night, unable to sleep, his brain unable to forget what 11 days without sleep felt like. The system that should regulate his sleep-wake cycle had been damaged, permanently altered. Periodic memory lapses continued for years. He'd be mid-conversation, lose the thread, not because he was tired, because the neural pathways responsible for maintaining conversational context had been damaged during those 11 days. They rebuilt, but not perfectly. Emotional regulation never fully stabilized. Researchers documented mood swings that persisted long after the experiment ended. Irritability, sudden frustration, disproportionate reactions to minor inconveniences. The prefrontal cortex had been forced to operate at minimal capacity for too long. When it came back online, it came back changed. Brain scans of people who undergo extreme sleep deprivation show permanent structural changes, specifically in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that makes you who you are, your personality, your decision-making ability, your self-control, your emotional regulation. That part doesn't fully recover. Randy's brain had been forced to cannibalize itself for energy. When you don't sleep, your brain has to pull resources from somewhere. It starts breaking down its own structures to keep critical systems running. Some of those neural pathways never rebuilt completely. The glial cells, the support cells that maintain and protect neurons, showed permanent damage in follow-up studies of extreme sleep deprivation cases. These cells don't regenerate easily. When they're damaged, the neurons they support become vulnerable, more prone to degradation over time. Randy survived, but survival isn't the same as being unharmed. For years after the experiment, he carried the weight of what he'd done to himself. He'd proven humans could survive 11 days without sleep, but he'd also proven the cost was higher than anyone anticipated. The Guinness Book of World Records still lists his achievement: 11 days. 264 hours, the longest scientifically documented case of voluntary sleep deprivation. But in 1997, they stopped accepting new attempts. No more sleep deprivation records. Too dangerous. Too much permanent damage. Too many people trying to break Randy's record and ending up with cognitive impairment that lasted months, sometimes years. The record stands, but it's a closed category now. No one will ever officially break it because the cost of trying is too high. Randy Gardner walked into that experiment as a 17-year-old high school student trying to win a science fair. He walked out as the person who showed the world exactly how far a human brain can be pushed before it starts breaking in ways that don't fully heal. His brain never fully forgot those 11 days. The neural pathways that were forced offline, the systems that shut down, the desperate microsleeps, the hallucinations, the language breakdown, the identity confusion. They left scars, not visible ones, not physical ones you could see on a scan and point to, but functional ones, behavioral ones, patterns that changed and never quite returned to baseline. Randy proved something important. The human brain is resilient. It can survive extreme conditions. It can rebuild after catastrophic stress. But resilient doesn't mean invincible. And survival doesn't mean undamaged. 11 days without sleep won't kill you. Your heart will keep beating. Your lungs will keep breathing. Your body will continue functioning. But your brain will pay a price. And some of that price is permanent. If you made it this far, hit the like button. Drop a comment. What's the longest you've ever gone without sleep? I want to know if anyone's hit 3 days, because after watching what happens at day 4, I'm curious who's experienced those first hallucinations. In the next video, I'm breaking down what happens during those microsleeps at day 7, when your brain forces you offline for seconds at a time while your eyes stay open. The neurological mechanism behind it is fascinating and terrifying. Subscribe so you don't miss it.